Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about what is edge computing. We will try to understand this with an example. Let's take example of supply chain. In this scenario, there's a truck which is shipping the good from factory to some retail stores. And this is quite high value good. So let's assume that there are jewelries which are getting shipped. So there are multiple lockers in the truck and these lockers have jewelries and these jewelries are getting shipped from the factory to the various retail stores. Now, because this is a very high value good, it's very important to implement a very stringent monitoring process so that the goods are not stolen or not misplaced, right? In order to do very stringent monitoring, the suppliers have implemented multiple IoT devices to monitor the system. So there are cameras which are deployed. So there is a camera in the container and there is also a camera in the driver's cabin to monitor the driver's behavior. Then there is a GPS tracker which will tell you the exact location of the truck, the speed of the truck and all those things. And then there are door sensors. These are remote controlled door. The staff in the truck or the driver, they cannot open these lockers. These lockers will be opened only by the respective authority from remote. When the truck reaches the destination, authority sitting in the remote location, they will trigger the command to open the door of the locker. So in this example, we have just taken few sensors, but actually there can be many more sensors for monitoring different kind of parameters. Now all these IoT sensors, IoT devices, they will be collecting the information and they will be sending all the information in real time to the backend system, which may be there on some cloud server. So what kind of problem do we see in this system? So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 IoT devices and all these 6 devices are continuously capturing some data and continuously they are sending this data to the backend system. So we can see that there is a very high volume of data which is getting captured and which is being sent to the cloud system. Second problem could be the bandwidth and latency issues. This will consume plenty of bandwidth and then can be latency, and because this truck is moving across the country on highways, you may not have a consistent network connection across the highway. So there can be intermittent connection issue, and of course then there is a high cost involved because more data is being pushed, so there will be more bandwidth consumption. All these IoT devices need to have GPRS capability so that they can communicate back to the cloud, right? So is there a way we can optimize this? This can be optimized by putting a edge device in between. So all these sensors, all these IoT devices, they will now communicate only to the edge. Edge will do the consolidation and it will send the data to the cloud. So by putting a edge device in between, all the information can be consolidated. So instead of sending 6 records, now we will be sending only 1 record. Edge will collect all the data from all the sensors and it will do the consolidation and then will send it to the cloud. So in addition to consolidation, the edge can also do data filtering and some data conditioning. It's not necessarily that all the data as it is needs to be sent to the cloud. You can do some kind of filtering and conditioning of data before it is being actually sent to the cloud. Edge can also do certain level of validation and anomaly detection. Certain level of pre-processing can be done here, and the problem of intermittent connection can be resolved by store and forward mechanism, which means that all these devices will keep sending the data to the edge. In case there is a network issue, edge will store it locally for some time, and then whenever the network is resumed, edge will push all the information to the cloud. And this way we can optimize the system. So what is edge computing? Edge computing is distributed computing in closer proximity of user. Why it is important? It is very IoT friendly. It will help you to send less data to the cloud. It will help you to reduce latency, to consume less bandwidth and therefore save cost. It can do certain level of pre-processing and conditioning of data before sending to cloud. Edge devices may not have that powerful computing facility and therefore you may not be able to run complex and long running operations or complex analytics In edge, all those things needs to be done in the backend system on cloud or wherever the data center is. How to implement edge? There is no standard definition of how to implement edge. Different setups, different solutions have implemented edge in different way. There is no standard as such. So edge computing is a very broad definition, and there are variety of implementations which has been done for edge implementation. But in general, edge means doing a computing in closer proximity of user.